Hey, I'm Noodle Yeti, and this is a +2 Mysatyrna Scythe from a Vengeance Demon Hunter perspective. Personally, I've never done any kind of like serious key reviews, so I really don't actually know what I'm looking for. I mean, I have tried in the past, but I'm just not that good at it, so I don't really know how I'm going to improve here by doing this, but we will see. Hopefully just you watching this or whatever helps you out, or... Anyways, I'm just going to kind of let the key play in the background, and I'm not really going to talk a whole lot, but if something happens, I'll pause and talk. I'm not really a tank player. I mean, I am. I did all of Shadowlands as a tank. I was a Guardian Druid and a Prop Paladin. And then Shadowlands, I decided to go DPS. Or Shadowlands, yeah, that one. And then this expansion, I decided to have one of each tank and just do 2 keys on each every week. Run their own key, run the first one that I get from the vault, and then whatever happens to that one, run the second one. So this one, I am going to spoil it, we do end up 2-chesting. And one of the things I've noticed on Vengeance is I need to get better at timing when I soul bomb, or when I consume souls, I should say. I still don't quite know when all the major tank mechanics are. As you can see, like, my health is really low and I don't have any of the souls there. It's because right now I'm currently just kind of spamming everything. Just running through my rotation. But I also did notice that in that pack I did have like plus 40% damage taken. So I should have saved all of my souls and whatnot for the end right there. But it is what it is. I also need to get better at watching aggro. As you saw, that Dress Soul Cleaver was running towards the Shaman. That's a common theme I've noticed in everything that I've done with my Vengeance Demon Hunter, is sometimes there will be mobs that I just don't have aggro on, and I just don't even notice. I don't know if it's just the default UI and how the aggro glow is very faint and kind of not that noticeable, or if I'm too preoccupied because I'm still learning the spec that I don't notice it. But either way, I think both time and practice, aggro won't be an issue anymore. One thing I did here, I was just watching somebody's live stream and somebody was asking the tank about Vengeance Demon Hunters and their aggro issues. Personally, I don't understand what they're talking about. I think all the aggro issues I have is because I didn't actually hit something, or I didn't use the right buttons on open. I seem to just... Oh, and like dying on pole, I think that was another thing they were asking about. What I've noticed is when I leap in, I usually have Demon Spikes and Infernal Armor on, or at least I try to. And then I try to hit them with something hard hitting right off the bat, like a Sigil of Flame or a Feldev. But I don't think I've ever had any issues like dying on pole or aggro on pole, besides times like that Soul Cleaver. Where it's just I think that would just be a learning of positioning and the range of my spells. Because I think I was hitting some of my damaging abilities, but I think that particular mob that I didn't have aggro on was just outside of range of them. So I think if I practice, I could figure out, okay, if I leap into this certain spot or into this area over here, we should be fine. Like that right there, I'm trying to figure out what the range is for the leap in thing, or whatever it's called. Fellblade? I'm not quite sure. Now right here, one thing I am going to note right off the bat is I should have used my hunt right into him, so that way everything would have been affected by it. I think it increases the damage, or is it just healing from the damage? I'm not quite sure. But I have to read the spell tooltip again, and if it is damage on... or increased damage, I should open with that during a damage amp phase like that. But that's whatever. I also don't think I use that darkness ability enough. I think I don't Have I even used it once so far? Or maybe I used it at the beginning on the second pull, I think. I can't remember, but I definitely don't use it enough. Now, one thing I've noticed with this maze, how you saw the boss go through that door on the right, and then it went through the first door on the left. Sometimes I've noticed that even when you see them go through the second door, recently they've changed that, where it doesn't always line up with where you saw the boss go the second time. I'm not quite sure why that is, but this time we got lucky and it actually was the door that we saw the boss go through after this. The first one typically is definitely spot on, but everything after that, I think they've definitely changed. And I also think they've randomized the mini-boss spawn, because I think in this dungeon, you'll see it later on, it turns out to be Gorge Gullet, but I remember back in Shadowlands, that frog mini-boss was always on the left side of this maze, and this time it's in the spot where I'm used to seeing the dragon, the one that leaves the puddle and has the frontal or whatever. And I think they also removed an ability from that dragon, I think, or not the dragon, the frog. I remember it used to be a little bit harder on my tank back then, and now it just seems kind of like a joke. Maybe it's just the Demon Hunter, I don't know. Maybe it was just either the Paladin or the Druid I was playing at the time that struggled a little bit, but it is what it is.
I need to target something first.
Another thing I've been noticing is when do I Soul Cleave versus Spirit Bomb? I think, like, I'm not quite sure when to do either, like what's better. I think I just need to spend some time and just read my tooltips. Oh, yep. I forgot, somebody in this group doesn't quite understand how the puzzle works, but it's okay. They'll figure it out one day. They'll watch a video or somebody will educate them and it's just a 2.
No fooling you.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Soul Cleave to Spirit Bomb. I'm not quite sure when to do those things. Oh yeah, here's the Gorge Gullet, the one that's in the place of the dragon. Soul Cleave to Spirit Bomb. Like, I know Soul Cleave has a little heal of its own, and then it consumes 2 soul fragments, and I know it's a good dump, but I don't know, would it be better to open with a spirit, like leave all your souls out, heal with the Spirit Bomb, even in single target, and then just dump your pain into Fracture? But, or Fracture, Shear, I think is what it is. As you can tell, I'm really new to, I'm not that experienced on Vengeance. Now here's a risky one. I saw that it was this one where we could do the double pull, and I just went for it. And I'm actually surprised I lived. I was actually kind of like a little scared and a little on edge during this pull. I was like, oh my goodness, my health is extremely low. I'm struggling. This healer was probably like, oh my goodness, just spam healing me or something. I don't know what it is. He's a resto druid. Just spamming regrowths or something like that. But I did throw down the darkness, did use everything I possibly could. And everybody was able to get down enough of it to the point where what I had left at the end here, I could just leap away. Now, I know some people don't like kiting, and this is an issue I've noticed on my Brewmaster is, well, I won't get into that on this one, we'll only talk about Vengeance, but I actually don't mind it. I find it to be an alternate method of tanking, because it's like, your job as a tank is to hold aggro and to mitigate damage, and if you mitigating damage means just the distance. Yeah, you saw the guy run into the wrong door there, even though I was trying to leap into the right one. I should have pinged it. That's something I should probably get better at, is just using pings more often. But I don't mind the running away sometimes. It's like, if I know what defensives I have, and if I know there's going to be a point where I run out, or if I notice I'm out, I can easily just leap away and create that gap. Sure, it might be annoying for some classes, like a Destro Lock or a Elemental Shaman with their Earthquake and Rain of Fire, but who cares? Like, Get them. Maybe they shouldn't be playing with a Vengeance Demon Hunter. But yeah, I used everything in that pull. Now I'm looking at it. I used my Cheat Death, I used my Meta, Feldev, Chains, Silence. I think the only one I didn't use was probably this Sigil of Misery.
Nourish the forest.
Oh, yeah, and here I hit the wrong hotkey. I gotta figure out which one's my individual purge and which one's my Blood Elf purge. But could have had those off a little bit sooner.
I need to target something first.
I think this helmet that the Vengeance Demon Hunter's got is absolutely ridiculous. I'm just not willing to spend the money on transmog to hide it, but I think they definitely could have rethought the design of the Demon Hunter tier set. Like, what in the heck is that? Like, they gave us horns that look like Drakthir horns, and like I don't want to look like a Drakthir. I'm a Demon Hunter. Oh, and here's another thing. You'll see it here in a minute, but I need to figure out what's wrong with my focus interrupt macro, because in a little bit you'll see that I set the boss as my focus, or at least I thought I set the boss as my focus, and then when I went to use my macro on the boss ability, it just didn't work. And here you can see I'm trying to find the focus macro, trying to set it up on a hotkey. Alright, so right now I currently don't have the boss focused. I think... When do I set the focus? Maybe that's the issue. What if that was the issue, is I just never focused the boss? I just put the macro down and then never even used it. That would definitely be why I failed there. Yeah, I don't have the boss focused, and I think right here is where I die. Yeah, boss still isn't focused. Yeah, that's why I die. So, where the frame should be is, let's see if, so where you see my target frame right here on the right hand side, kind of underneath the weak aura up there, the focus frame will be just to the right of that and a little bit smaller. So that's exactly why it didn't work. I never even focused the boss. At the time I thought it was the one that's up here by the dungeon timer to the left. But then after I died, I saw that there was 2 frames there, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not the focus target. And as you can see, there's like 6. Those are just the boss things, whatever. I gotta reorganize that. I don't like how my weak aura overlaps everything. It looks ugly. There's also a new skin for this, Details, that's more like the Dragonflight UI. That skin I have there is for the old UI, but I gotta see if I could find... I gotta see if I could find the new one, the War Within overlay, or the Dragonflight overlay. I'm not quite sure which one, but either way, it looks a lot better. Yeah, here you see me looking through all my stuff, trying to figure out why I died, why it all went wrong, and it turns out I just never even focused the boss. So this right here is kind of annoying. I think people forgot that you like pull these into the next pack. And every single time I've run into this pack here and then tried to run down, everybody just pops all their CDs as soon as these things get in combat, and then I have to like run back, get aggro again, and then it's a big old mess and people start dying. I just remember that's how it used to be back in Shadowlands, and I guess everybody just kind of forgot. That's okay.
I'm out of range.
Because it's like I have all my CDs right now. It's like I could have pulled that pack into this one and the little birds that fly around or whatever that poison everybody. And I had everything for it. But, well, except for Cheat Death, but that's okay. I'll just have to play better. Or I would have had to play better. I like that, but it didn't grab aggro on that staghorn, so I'm not quite sure when I want to use the hunt. I definitely don't use that enough either. That's one thing I'm noticing in this, is I rarely use it. I actually don't even think I know what it does. I think I know it, like, heals me for the damage done, but I don't know anything else. I should probably also get a ability week or add-on or something, so that way you guys know what buttons I'm pushing. I think I'll do that. I already ran both the keys for this guy for the week. I'm only going to run 2 keys per week unless I really enjoy the specific tank. 2 keys per tank spec or something like that. The first key that I get, and then whatever it turns into after that. I think one of the takeaways I have from watching this so far is just use my abilities more often. I think that should be the first priority, is just put everything on CD and then try and figure out the timings for them after that. Learn from my deaths, things like that. At least that's what I want to do. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I guess I'll find out. I think after that would be the timings between sheer, is it sheer? Sheer and soul bomb, something like that. Learn the difference, when to use each, when do I want to spend souls on the sheer, when do I want to spend them on soul bomb. I think even in single target, I'm gonna want to build up to 5 souls and then bomb and then dump with sheer. I think that's probably going to be the best. And I kind of already know this from the key I ran after this, but I really need to work on timings for it. Like I think I said it earlier as well. Timing when I start consuming my souls. Instead of just trying to go for pure APM, start going for how am I going to survive? Because in the next key after this one, I think it's a 4 Dawnbreaker or something like that. I get really messed up by, I think it's the second boss. There's a physical thing. I didn't realize it was physical, first off. But it puts like a fear on you, and a couple of times I got caught without the right amount of souls or right amount of pain or resource to heal myself back up, and I think I died a couple times to it. Yeah, like right there, I shouldn't have used the hunt at that moment. I think I should have just tried to deal damage to gain all the aggro at once, because everybody just started popping off right there, so I think I should have just done the soul bomb spender, and then once I had aggro, then I could be the hunt and maybe a sigil of the bastion one, I don't know what it's called, but that thing that I just put down right there, the giant green one. As far as the gosh, what are they called? The hero talents. I think I prefer playing with this one more, but I really like the way the other one plays. It makes it feel good to like have a button where it lights up and it's like, oh yeah, throw glaive or something like that. It just feels good. It's like they enhanced it a little bit, but I don't know. I prefer this one, I guess. But yeah, that was this key. I think it was okay. I don't know if it was the best or the worst or whatever. But I think this right here, this boss, definitely need to work on that. Actually setting the focus and paying attention to it. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much the takeaways. Work on my spending between sheer and soul bomb. I need to read my abilities, learn what the hunt does. Oh, this is embarrassing. Frankly, that is a skill issue. Yes, it is, Ian. Where was I? Something to do with like shears, soul bomb, read my abilities, focus macro. Oh, and then timings. I guess the timing thing would just be a learning thing. Like as I play, I see, oh, this mob really hurts tanks. It's usually on this ability or that ability and whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Bye.